Alright, hey guys, welcome back to Camp Race League. So this is just going to be a quick little video for the day. And also I do want to apologize for the New Year's Eve race, not having any audio whatsoever with me speaking, because my dumb butt forgot to unmute the mic on OBS. But anyway, I mean, that race did give you view better than I thought it would have, and everything. So I did post that update out about doing this style for the amateur series to kind of basically add on some seasons before the 2026 season I am doing along with the Cup Series. This is basically just, I guess, kind of give this series a little bit of a win list, and because technically, too, there was a secondary series back in the day in 15, 16, and 17. And I believe as well, I would have rated this series through 2018 to 2021, and yes, I was able to really find a way to get rosters in for all that, and over the last night or whatever. And funny enough, I was planning on actually working on this throughout this month, wait a little and get this done right before the season opener, but I got it all done with the one night. I was just sitting here last night and back in Glenville before I go back to school, and I was like, hey, why not go ahead and work on some of this stuff? And I went ahead and worked on every single season up till 2021, which of course 2021 would be the last season of the series. Because I feel like when the CRL era would have started, there really wouldn't have been enough drivers to really have a secondary series for a little bit. But anyway, these rosters I kind of got together throughout all the BMR and era seasons with the old Gen 4 series or the short track series I did back in 2018 and 19, and kind of kept the rosters how they would have been up till 2021. And as we go through it here, the first 3 years are the same from the series I had added on with the truck series. So technically, this is a kind of the truck series, and it goes straight into. Technically, I would say maybe the Xfinity cars a little bit here. I don't really know where to explain that very well. Basically, these first 3 years, you of course have all the teams here. And also, I am actually going to make a little side note for every single race team and every single season, so that way when I do need to make a all time team win list for every single series for the year long format. Basically, I started working on the Cup one just now before doing this video, and that's definitely a fun task to go through trying to figure out what team would have been what in every single season. But the first 3 years is basically all the same from what I had in that original video. I just had to redo the win number for everybody. So in the first 3 years, there are actually several records kind of set here in the first few years. Cale Cable still wins the inaugural championship, running this series and the Cup Series same time. In that year, Cale did run all three kind of full-time series years. The other series, never really have included because it was just the road racing series, and really nothing much I could add on there with that one. But yeah, so Caleb would easily win the championship over Ezekiel Morris. Austin Camp would be third in points among being a full-time driver. Basically, all the Cup drivers that ran full-time this year were able to run both series, and you'll see that maybe like one more time in this series. That will actually be in 2021 with Jace Turner, and I will get into why I did that later on in this video. But yeah, so Caleb would win the championship. The 3 team for his truck team would also run very well with part-time drivers in it. And yeah, really nothing much I'll say there. And you can kind of guess who all 8 of the drivers ran full time in this series here. I believe we have 13 full time amateur drivers this year. Could go a little bit more if I do add on a driver here or there. Also, I'm still looking for part time drivers for other like the 2712 and the 46 need a part time driver still. And honestly, I could probably have drivers return that are in this video. I just don't know yet. 2016, this is an interesting one. Ezekiel Morris does win championship. The 2016 easily takes the owner's title. That 46 truck was lethal in 2016. And yeah, Caleb dominated, and only 2 drivers that ran the full season actually won a race. Lily Adams wasn't really full time, so I had her last in the points. And Ani's would have ran full time, technically, I guess, too. And Ezekiel Morris won the championship easily in this season. But Caleb Campbell actually had the most overall race wins with 8 on the season. I would say that is the record for the most wins by one driver. Among the full time drivers, you'll actually see the main win lead number is not 6, it's actually 7 wins. You'll see that in every single season in 2018 for the champions. I did something pretty funny there on accident last night when I was doing the getting the races together for the winners. 2017, Angela Gibson gets a big championship for her. TriStar Racing, actually, fun fact, was the #1 truck back in the day. The old #1 truck I used to have, still have back at home in McDonough. But yeah, Angela Gibson does pull the championship. I feel like the 416 wasn't very consistent with the 7 wins, so I actually have them second in the owner standings in this list here. And Noah Smith would have still choked this championship back in 2017. He ended up choking this to JJ Gailey instead of Angela Gibson. But of course, with the CRL stuff, Angela Gibson would be the champion in this one, and this was, of course, all added on last year with everything. Just made sure I had all the rookies and stuff right as well. I just added the rookie drivers in all this year. 2017 will be the first year with it, with Noah Smith winning it over Frank Sutton, his teammate, and Caden Mahoney. I am not sure which truck team will have that be yet. Maybe a Hendrick truck team for that year. But 2018 is where it does get interesting. You kind of already saw who the champion was. So this is kind of the year where I added on like Gen 4 drivers or other drivers in BMR and Era who were not full time in the year-long format, because I didn't really focus on the year-long format a lot from 2018 till 2021. I was a lot into the BMR and stuff and everything. And one struggle I did have too is a lot of the main BMR drivers that I would have had added into the season, like Brady Wilmington, Brendan Creason, they're already in the Cup Series 2018 full time. So I just kept them there, and I just did a little list here for the drivers who didn't really get to run that series at all. Sarah Cox was actually never involved in the Cup Series. Benjamin Roy will be added on for 2019 in this year. I know I added him on in this year. But yeah, you got a good few rookies here in this season. And the Hampshire Series does kind of start with a 29 race season. Noah Smith wins first race of the year, and of course you have Caleb or Jake and Andre run part time. This also, I will say, changes the win list a good bit for mainly Madison Yates, Andre Crockett, and Elizabeth Boutel, because they all actually get landmark. Now they technically have milestone wins. I don't know where this win would have came for them. Well, I know where Madison's would have came, but everyone else kind of has some milestone wins here. And this does also change up the overall win list. I don't really have the list to show y'all in the video, but it does make some pretty big changes in the league in general. I mean, even in the middle area with these drivers end up winning all these races and stuff. So as you see, Vaughn Cazares would win the championship. So one other thing I struggled with too was trying to figure out who I would say would have won which championship. I feel like 2018 would make sense for Vaughn. He was really kind of fully running in um, the Gen 4 series at this time in the BMR era, and I feel like he would have been the best driver amongst her. I mean, Sarah would have been really good too. Sarah Cox, she does actually run consistently in all three of these seasons here, or the next three seasons, and does not win the championship. I would have had her win the championship, but I'm kind of on a thing where I was like, well, screw all women right now because I still am single and stuff. And it definitely came into play for the 2019 season here. I will go and say with who won that championship. But yeah, so Vaughn Kazler with 7 wins, Sarah with 4. Noah Smith still chokes with in third place in points with 3 wins. Trevor Stewart, a big rookie here. Bob Smith, he actually doubled his overall career wins with 4 wins in this season. And everybody else here. Austin Tillman gets a big one. Austin and Joey Cook, they both were one-time CRL race winners before doing this. They both get a second win. Austin does go out with this win, and Joey Cook does not win again, actually, in the rest of this stuff. 2019. So 2019, I actually added Benjamin Roy. I probably should have him in 2018, but I forgot to add him in that area last night. Zachary DeLello, he was a big name this time. James Edwards, the only really big Pacific Racing name I could have gotten that I fully remember, because he did not run the Cup Series at all in this time when adding on all the Cup Series drivers. Noah Smith actually goes to Haas and is one in the 98, just like he did in real life 2019. Then he actually dips out after this year. Fun fact in 2019. Um, and yeah, really nothing much to say there. Just a lot of the same old, same old. Bob Smith wins the Star of the Year, but it was actually Sarah who was really strong. But Benjamin Arroyo was just as good, and he ended up actually being the dominant one in this season. And he ends up winning the championship, as you see right here. And you kind of easily see he wins all these championships already a little bit in this video. Arroyo with 7 wins. I feel like it would make sense for him to be a champion here in 2019. I mean, he ran solid. He wasn't too dominant in the BMR and Air series, I'd say, in the Cup series. But him and Sarah, they were right there, top 10ish in the points with Camp Motorsports, and I'm very confident Benjamin would end up winning the championship anyway. Or I figured Sarah would have won it, but Benjamin was right up there too as a name that could have easily won this championship. Because I mean, around this time you had a lot of the Campbell Racing drivers dominating a lot. It feels like Jake Hoover was dominant. I mean, actually, Elizabeth Boutel won the Cup title in this year for the year-long format with Penske. And then this year was actually Jake Hoover's. I mean, yeah, Caleb's team's still pretty strong every year. But I mean, Stuart Haas also does win a championship in 2018 with Vaughn Cazares, funny enough. But yeah, I think it would make sense for Roy to win it. Also be Rookie of the Year whenever DeLello and James Edwards not really winning too much. And yeah, this gets us into 2020. 2020, this actually adds on all your short track racing drivers here from the short track series I did, because this series started in 2019. This is like a lot of the add-ons 2020, along with that and Gen 4. Abigail Brock, a big name back in 2020 and a bit of 2021. Cam Spinner started out here as well. Fun fact, the UK racing team owner, I'd say. Jet Skeeto in 11. Jet was actually added on in this year, so I figure it makes sense for him to start off this year. And he did not run Rookie of the Year for Cup till 2021. So it makes sense for them to run this series here full time. And yes, that is a colleague racing. I know they don't really, I don't think they really have a diecast that exists for the 11. But I was like, hey, we'll put Jesketo in 11 on the season. Hayden McCann, Timothy Askew, two other big names from the Campbell Racing group. And at this time, they both were added on for this season. And that's really about it. Sarah, once again, full time, her last full season. Hayden does win the season opener. And this series actually does have a very competitive season. So what I did is I was trying to have the short track drivers not really win much at the start. Then once you get to like the actual short tracks, they all start winning. Jet Skeeta starts winning mainly. Abby didn't really win a lot in this here, and yeah, it's really, I will go say this every single driver in this season I think won a race unless Joey Cook went winless, I believe, or maybe that was in 2000. No, yeah, it was in 2019. So yes, every single driver in this season and actually in the next season won every single race. And so this season actually would have 12 different winners. I mean, we have a good shot at actually having 12 or more different winners in the amateur series next year. Although it's gonna be kind of hard to see that happen among the race teams because you of course going to have a Caleb's team there. The Turners are going to be very strong. I feel like the Bartletts could be strong, and yeah, you got drivers like that there. And of course, I will actually pull the win list for this at the end of 2021, and I'll go say like who is running among the part timers. There's not a single full time driver that has a career win just yet because they are all brand new. But yeah, so Caleb Campbell Motorsports does win the owner's title again over Jesketo. I feel like they would have been stronger than the 11 team, but Jesketo does get the championship. Jesketo technically has ended up winning CRL titles before that were not counted because of differences in the win list for what it should have been. So unfortunately, Jesketo was actually without a championship before doing this. So he's earning championship. Oh, fun fact too, adding on 3 new CRL champions now too with doing this. So Vaughn, Benjamin, and Jet all win championships. I also messed up my count for overall seasons based on years. I got to redo all that. Pretty soon. I think I have the number of seasons in a year right. I just don't have the season numbers right anymore because of this. Because I added this on into 2021 or 2018, 19, 20, and 21. Arroyo does go runner up in the season. Jesketo did kind of dominate with all the wins he got. That is what made him separate himself from the rest of this field. And basically every single driver won here, and every single driver won 2021. And you already kind of see who the champion is. So 2021. So this is kind of the year where a lot of the drivers left out, like the Pacific Racing drivers, a lot of the drivers, and this was kind of the fall of the B Martin era, going to CRL. And but however, Abby stayed. Zachary DeLello was still here. Benjamin Arroyo was still here for one more year. Sarah Cox left in this one. But yeah, Jason William ended up being rookie. So they were actually, well, Jace Turner technically was started out in 2021 around just in time for this series. I mean, also Jace was full time in the Cup Series. So he'd be just like Caleb in 2015, running both series full time. Jace does not win both championships though. Jace does wait till 2022 to get that Cup Series title, and he does have a good shot for a second one in 2026. I will say as well. Um, but yeah, Timothy Eskew still stays. Hayden McCann has Bob Smith one more year for him, and of course Madison Caleb with these teams here as well in the field with their part time teams. However, this series, like I said, does have every single driver win once again because complete chaos does happen once again. And fun fact is, we just looked through the season real quick. I'm not going to go over much of it here. Jace Turner does ultimately win another championship, and I feel like too because Caleb Cable's team did not really win a lot. Madison, the Yates race team, did not win a lot in there last year. Yeah, so Jace Turner easily wins this championship over Abigail Brock here at the end of the season. Hayden McAdams, William runner up in Rookie of the Year for fourth in the points. So Jace, he would have just been old enough to run the series here. William would have been 1 year older because William didn't really start racing till like 2021, 2022. So yeah, it made sense for them both to really be the rookies in this last season. Of course, only 10 full time drivers, 10 full teams, 8 full time drivers, and once again, everybody does end up winning again in this season. And yeah, so I'll actually back out of this list here. We'll go look at the all-time race wins for the amateur series here. Of course, like I said, I did work on this all last night. Caleb goes from 18 to 25 wins here. Jake Hoover, second most wins with 13. And as you notice too, they're all actually individual champions. Nobody is a multi-time champion for the amateur series going to season here. I mean, nobody has a chance to go for a second one among the full-time roster right now. Um, so yeah, Caleb, Ezekiel, Angelo, Vaughn, Benjamin, Jet, and Jace all one title apiece. Caleb and Jace are the only active ones right now that, of course, could go for an owner's title with their team, but they won't want another championship in the series. But like, let's say drop down and run full time in 1 year or something. But yeah, Caleb and Jake, the two winningest drivers here in this field. Benjamin Arroyo, Sarah Cox, Ezekiel Morse, your top 5 in the wins, all 10 wins piece. Unfortunately, Caleb, I mean, still a pretty good gap to second place, but at least it's not like the Cup Series where Caleb has like 120 wins and like next person in behind us at 59. That's Madison Yates, in fact. Um, Noah Smith, Bob Smith, both 8 career wins. They both actually add on more to their career win totals based on this here. Bob Smith actually has his exponentially increased, I'd say, after his BMR in career. Vaughn, Jen, Jace, all those 7-time winners. So you probably noticed in the last 4 seasons, the champion won 7 races. Benjamin is the only one to keep on racing and winning after a few more times. Be like Vaughn, Jet, and Jace. They all won 7 races apiece. That is kind of for the full time drivers that ran a full season. That is their kind of win record. Caleb does have the most overall wins, like I said, with 8 in 2016. Elizabeth Boutel. So this is where I'll get into Elizabeth real quick. She actually jumps into the 50 career win clubs in the overall wins. So Elizabeth and Andrew Crockett both jumped to that area. Andrew with 4 wins. Andrew ends up being tied with Brett Campbell for 52 wins for 8th all time. 9 drivers now have 50 plus wins in CRL. And Elizabeth, she goes to 7th with 53 wins. So they're all right there on top of each other. And funny enough, right behind them is actually Bradesy and William Bales tied at 47 career wins. So William and Braden have to now hit their 50th win, become the 10th driver to do that, and then get a couple more wins to actually kind of move up within the top 10. Also with Jace Turner, this is something else pretty big. Jace jumps back past Jalen Bales now, who's at 67 wins, and Jace does have a 5th overall league title, and he is kind of looking for that 6th one currently in the Busch season. Although every single team's trying to choke that championship to Caleb right now. I mean, Kira's choking it, Trinity, Jace kind of is, Joshua is. I mean, Megan Bell just won the last race I did there at Texas. But yeah, Jace Turner does go to 70 career wins, 8 behind Carter Limlin overall. And here is another big one, Madison Yates right here. So Madison, the last one she got here, got her to 100 overall wins. So now only 3 drivers in the CRL in history have 100 wins in their career. Madison did get 100 first win, but the reason why I took that win back, gave it back to Elizabeth, is because that 100 win Madison would have gotten would have been that 2024 Martinsville race I did on the game for the year long format, which was where I was actually running through the field to make sure I had a good gap in the points of William into the finale. But Madison ended up holding up Latonya Gray for the overall race win. So yeah, that would honestly, just looking at it, I figured that would have been a big enough win for Madison to get her 100th and final overall race win in. So I wanted to keep that where it ended up being. And it's really cool for Madison to get that mark in a race like that too. I actually was thinking about going back and getting the replay at the end of that race and showing it off. But yeah, we'll see. But anyway, other drivers who are actually running the amateur series that are part time, Eli with 3 wins, William with 3 wins. I think that's really all I can really know here. Cam Spinner has 1 win too. I think he'll probably run some races here and there for his team. But yeah, that really does it here for this video. Just want to make this video real quick this morning. Kind of talking about all the add-ons to the amateur series. I know these videos don't usually get watched a lot, and I just want to go to this video here to just go show all the updates and everything for who ends up being the champions, the race win total, I guess, and everything. I do have the track win total made as well. Just getting into 2026, so I know who won at what track and which tracks we will debut at in 2026. Anyway, thank you for watching the videos. Caleb Cameron signing out, and I'll see y'all in the next one.